Today, we wanted to show you how to make a classic at Hong Kong Chachaanteng, curry beef brisket. Now know that it's not like there's one master recipe for Hong Kong curry. Different restaurants will have their own versions. That said, Hong Kong curry could kind of be conceptualized as a mix between British and Thai curries. The historical starting point does seem to be the British sort, but over the years, more Chinese spices were tossed in the mix, and a bit of Southeast Asian flair was added in the form of Hong Kong curry's distinctive hit of lemongrass and coconut cream. But right, to get started with Hong Kong-style curry, you'll need Hong Kong-style curry paste. This stuff, or a brand like it, is generally what most Chachaantengs start off with, so if you've got some handy, your life's easy. But something tells me that this stuff wouldn't exactly be available at most local supermarkets in the West, so unfortunately, we gotta take the long route and reverse engineer this stuff from scratch. Our homemade version here is basically a mix of this bottle and a couple other brands. No guarantee that this is exactly how it's done in the factory or anything, but the taste is on point in our opinion. So this was the spice mix that we ended up settling on. 20 grams turmeric powder, 10 grams cumin powder, 4 grams chili powder, 2 grams star anise, ground till fine in a coffee or spice grinder, 2 grams licorice root, also ground in a coffee or spice grinder. This stuff can be a bit of a pain, so just do the best you can. And a gram each of ginger, cinnamon, white pepper, and clove powder. Then, of course, our requisite weird, tough-to-source thing, 2 grams chun pea dried and aged tangerine peel powder. This ingredient is actually not even that common here in China. As you can see, this is actually for restaurant use, but the curry paste we were mimicking definitely had a kick of this stuff. If you can't find it, feel free to sub in orange peel powder or lemongrass powder instead. And with the powders prepped, we can fry them. So first, add 8 tablespoons of peanut or vegetable oil to a pan and get that up to smoke point, about 220 centigrade. Now shut off the heat and let that cool down a bit. Once you're looking at roughly 175 Celsius or so, toss in your powdered spices. Give that a nice mix, and once that's cool enough to handle, after about 30 minutes or so, jar it up. And with that, you've got yourself some Hong Kong-style curry paste. Now for the beef. I called this stuff brisket before because that's how it's usually translated, but this is actually 650 grams of kung nan, or beef plate. We tested this with brisket though too, so feel free to go that route as well. Before you do anything though, first take your plate, or brisket, and toss in some cool water to soak for 1 hour. After an hour of soaking, you should see that the water's extracted a lot of the myoglobin. So drain that out and add in 2 inches smashed ginger, a sprig or 2 of scallion tied in a knot, and a solid glug, or about 2 tablespoons of liaojiu, aka Shaoxing wine, and an optional sprinkle, or about a half tablespoon of coriander seed. Lastly, toss in a tea bag if you feel like it, like a bog standard Lipton would be completely fine. Tea contains tannins which help tenderize the meat, but the effect is kind of subtle, so totally not obligatory. Pour in enough water to completely submerge the beef, cover, and bring to a light boil. Once it's at a boil then, take a look to see how much scum you're looking at. There's no need to be too paranoid here because we won't be using this liquid, but if you've got a lot of gunk like us, there's no harm in a quick skim so it won't cling to the beef when you take it out. Then cover, turn your flame to the lowest heat your stove will go, and let that simmer away for at least 2 hours. 2 hours later now, we'll shut off the heat and let that sit in the hot water for at least 30 minutes. Now, if you don't mind, in the mid-afternoon, our new balcony here apparently has like the same lighting situation as like the surface of Mercury, and we stupidly haven't bought a curtain yet, so forgive us for finishing the job inside. So take out the beef, and it should be tender enough that a chopstick can easily poke through. Now just cut that into about 1.5 inch chunks. Something about this size is more or less perfect. Then in a wok over a medium-low flame, toss in your beef cubes and give those an oilless toast for about 2 minutes. This will tighten up the exterior of the beef, as well as impart a bit of browning. And set that aside. Now for a curry base. So to a pot with about a tablespoon of oil, first toss in half a red onion cut into chunks, and fry for about 4 minutes over a medium-low flame until translucent like so. Then add in 2 shallots and about 4 cloves of garlic, both roughly chopped, and fry for another minute. Lastly, add in 2 inches of chopped ginger and 2 stalks of sliced lemongrass. Quick aside that when working with lemongrass, we're really only looking for the bottom white portion. Don't waste that top bit though. You can save it for tea, or alternatively infuse it into some gin. But after a minute or so of frying those, we can go in with 2 tablespoons of our Hong Kong curry paste, giving a quick mix before pouring, and an optional teaspoon of turmeric for extra color. Fry those together for another minute, then go in with 500 milliliters of hot boiled water. Quick mix, then go in with 2 dried bay leaves, cover, and bring to a boil. Then once it's at a boil, swap your flame to low and let that simmer covered for 10 minutes. So right, at this point, this curry does the very British feeling thing of blending everything together. We've heard that some Hong Kong restaurants use immersion blenders these days, and obviously feel free to do the Southeast Asian thing of just thoroughly pounding your aromatics first if you're so inclined. We tested that too, and it's also tasty. It's just that blending got us to that classic Chachaanteng kind of consistency. So remove the bay leaves, blend on low for about a minute, then on high for another, and pour it back into the pot. And with that, we've got our curry base. So, now go back in with your beef chunks and bay leaves, but know that at this point, you could honestly really toss whatever you wanted in there. This could be the base for a lot of dishes. Bring that all to a light boil, then season with 2 teaspoons of salt and 4 teaspoons of sugar. Turn that down to a simmer and let that cook covered for 20 minutes. And finally, after that time, toss in 2 tablespoons of coconut cream and let that simmer uncovered until thickened to your liking. For reference, we went about 5 minutes more because we like ours a bit on the thick side. Then just take that out and serve alongside some white rice and a bit of blanched broccoli for that classic Chachaanteng vibe.
So Hong Kong curry, besides pork chop, you also see chicken cutlet. And if you've been on the streets of Hong Kong, you've probably seen fish balls simmering in the curry. But that's a little bit different. So next week, we'll be making fish balls and then also show you how to make that. So check out the link in the description box for detailed recipe. Big thank you for everyone that's supporting us on Patreon. And of course, subscribe for more Chinese cooking videos.